Welcome back. WeArEuS, and this is going to be us doing Camellia's companion quest. Now, personally, I do want to say, when it came to what's his face? When it came to no, that should still be active, right? No. Oh, right, we're supposed to do this, that's why. When it came to... God dang it, they still do it. Lady Camellia, welcome home. We have been expecting you. Camellia looks at the servant for a few moments, bemused. You have been expecting me? Indeed, my lady. Lord Gwyrm ordered that you be sent to him as soon as you arrived. Well, I had been wondering where Gwyrm ended up, since he wasn't in the plaza in Dresden anymore. The commander is permitted to follow you, but I must ask your other companions to wait here. Refreshments will be served. Camellia, do you know who this is? I have never set eyes on him before. I took up my position here relatively recently. I was hired specifically to serve Lord Gwyrm at his mansion in Canabris. And why can't my companions come in too? Lord Gwyrm was most specific in his request, and I am afraid I cannot speak for his reasons. I can only assume that the conversation will be of a most delicate nature. Please, my friend, let's acquiesce to Horgus's request. I don't wish to make a scene before I fully understand what's going on here. I see you managed to fully repair the mansion after the demonic invasion. Indeed we have. Fortunately, the mansion was almost unharmed. Many items survived the attack, and Lord Gwyrm was able to find comparable replacements for those that didn't. Fine. So where should we look for Horgus? Lord Gwyrm must be somewhere upstairs. He bid me say that Lady Camellia will have no trouble finding him. Please, do come in. Camellia strokes her chin pensively. I was not expecting this. I thought the mansion would be empty, picked to the bones by marauders, if it were standing at all. But seeing it fully restored and inhabited... Camellia narrows her eyes at you. Well, it would be extremely impolite to keep our host waiting, wouldn't it, my friend? Let's go and have a chat with Daddy Dearest. Great. And now that they've disappeared, assuming they even did have their summons. No, I went to Dresden, but I don't think I let them rest at all. Crap. And he's got no more dragon transformations left. And that is level 9. He can't restore level 9 spells yet. Oh well. Spend him if you got him. She doesn't have him. So, as I was saying earlier, unlike with similar to, what's his freaking name? Gravor's companion quest, I have no faith here. Now, no. It's not that I don't have faith. I just don't want to equip her or spend any points on her. Because I don't have, I don't really believe this isn't going to go sideways on us. Just, So, what I'm saying is, unlike with Gravor, who I ultimately decided to have just the slightest bit of faith in. Unlike Gravor, let's actually get him mounted. Because, why not? Oh, he can't. That seems fair. I said upstairs. Regardless, unlike with Grey Boar, I choose to have no faith here. None whatsoever. Ah, this is the room of my first mentor. Take a look around if you want to. I'm sure you could find many of the curious tools and devices she used during our lessons. Camellia runs her fingers over bundled whips and floggers neatly packed in a drawer, touching each of them with care. I remember them all. This one makes thin wounds on the skin like a razor blade, while that one shreds skin to pieces. As for that one, the black one, it doesn't leave any marks on the skin at all, but deals so much pain your head spins. Look, I have to be honest, I really don't care all that much about Camellia or her backstory. Because not one time has she actually thought to consider that the spirit that she thinks was turned demonic may have been a demon all along. Not once has she bothered to question that possibility. At least as far as the writing has allowed us to know. There's nothing of value in here, and I can't be bothered.
Not hesitate.
I don't have the goddamn wand of haste. And she's not particularly useful. I guess I put it on her. We're looking for the wand of haste, which is on Darren, isn't it? Great. Great. Nice. Okay, I need to heal Ivu really quickly. I've been using rejuvenating poems all along the way. Heal. Even yourself. I mean, I appreciate the new icons, but it makes it impossible for me to tell what is what. At a glance, anyway. Okay, now that they're no longer exhausted, maybe they'll move faster. Just to be safe, and without Seela, we may as well. Okay, treants can't be affected by fear one way or the other. At least they move now. We like that. Mostly I'm just looking for loot, but I'm willing to bet there won't be any to find. I guess we just have to go straight to here. It's extremely creepy how quiet it is. I'm confused. Why are 3 of them up here? Okay, let's go ahead and quick save. Forgot to sort out her low health. Really? 39. Okay.
I will see this through.
Just to be on the safe side. I don't have that many spell slots for the Azada spells, so I need to be careful what we actually use. We are sure to find WeArEuS in his secret study. Camellia licks her parched lips. Before we enter, I should like to ask you one question if you don't mind. You know our family's history better than anyone else in the world. Tell me, what do you think of WeArEuS as a father? I like 4. He's not great, he's not bad. I'm sure he tried his best. So that's what you think. Camellia's gaze wanders the room, never resting on anything in particular. Why are you asking? No special reason. Camellia turns her distracted gaze on you. I just wanted to know your opinion of my father before we meet him face to face. Well, hello, Father. WeArEuS raises his head and stares vacantly at his daughter for several moments. Then he nods and drains the goblet before him in a single huge gulp. You can smell the sour reek of stale alcohol in the air. Hello, Camellia. So, you finally came, and you even dragged the commander along. I suspected that you wouldn't come here alone. You know, I've been wondering when you would finally show your face here. Haven't I always taught you that it is extremely impolite to be late for an appointment? Camellia wrinkles her nose in disgust. Papa, you stink. I believe you'll forgive me this weakness under the circumstances. And if you don't, you could always leave. I won't stop you. The door's right over there. WeArEuS chuckles bitterly and refills his goblet. You were expecting us. This wasn't a chance meeting. It was not you I was expecting, although I thought you might put in an appearance. No, I was waiting for Camellia. Some time ago I received a letter from my beloved daughter in which she invited me here. At my mansion in Canabres, I came as quickly as I could. I've been here for several days now, waiting for my dearest daughter to arrive. WeArEuS frowns at you, examining your face. Don't tell me you knew nothing about this meeting. Could it be that my sweet girl has you wrapped around her little finger, that she tricked you into coming here to watch the spectacle unfold? The little minx. He gesticulates wildly, spilling half the contents of his goblet on the floor. What did you do after I left for the Abyss? I left Dresden as soon as the Queen took hold of the reins of government. Of course, I highly respect our dear Galfrey, but it was you I had followed into the crusade, not her. For whatever reason, I do not believe our Queen will succeed in her attempts to defeat the wound. So I moved to Nerosian while my mansion in Canabras was still under renovation. WeArEuS turns his eyes on Camellia and shrugs. But if that matters anymore, does it? Camellia, what's going on here? She remains silent. You can't see her face, but you hear her breathing, shallow and fast. Her shoulders are rising and falling jerkily, and her hand is trembling. Camellia, explain. Camellia jolts slightly towards you. Her eyes seem to look right through you. Her lips are parted and her rasping breath reminds you of an animal's growl. Her right hand is clutching a thin stiletto that seems to have come out of nowhere. Isn't it obvious? WeArEuS stands up heavily from the table and approaches his daughter, stumbling a little. It's just finally come to take my life. I've been waiting for this moment since the day it all began. I knew it would come. Of course, I had hoped that Camellia would placate her spirits somehow, or perhaps the commander would close the world wound and put an end to all these sacrifices. But it's too late for that now. I am ready to die. My whole life is a lie. It does not even feel like mine, but somebody else's. I did everything I could to ensure that the name of WeArEuS would go down in history, and his bloodline live on. I've had to lie and cover up crimes along the way. Well, the time has come to pay the piper. And if my death helps to uncover the secret of closing the world wound, well, it's not the worst way to go. WeArEuS gulps. But before you do what you came here to do, Camellia, let me reveal my final secret to you. Camellia's voice sounds alien and unfamiliar. It's hoarse and low, like gravel crunching underfoot. Talk. Your mother, Iris, genuinely loved you, Camellia. But after she saw how you killed that pup in the garden, she started to worry about you. It was she who insisted on the doctors and the psychics and the exorcists. They all examined you, but nothing helped. You kept on killing animals, neighboring cats, stray dogs. You told us stories about the spirits who whispered in your ear. Iris didn't believe you really had a special ability to communicate with the spirits. She didn't think you were gifted, but I did. As if a daughter of WeArEuS could be no more than a lunatic. Several years passed like that. Several very grueling years. For Iris more than myself. And then one night, WeArEuS swallows the lump in his throat. I entered your room and saw Iris leaning over your bed with a pillow in her hands. I pushed her away from you. It was dark. Iris stumbled and she hit her head on the corner of a cabinet. I buried her in the garden and planted a flower bed of camellias over her grave. I thank the gods that you remembered nothing of that horrible night. Now, you know everything, Camellia. He didn't really kill her, it was an accident, obviously. Now, what her mother was intending to do to her, that would have been a kill. I'm surprised you managed to keep such secrets for all these years. That's not even a reasonable response. Of course he's managed to keep that. What? It's such a stupid response. There were days when I dreamed of my lives coming to light, of finally being able to come clean. But then I remembered Camellia. The bloodline of WeArEuS cannot be broken. You killed my mother, and you decided to tell me that now? Camellia's whisper sounds like the hissing of a venomous snake. Why? To unburden your soul, to show me you protected me back then. Maybe you're hoping I'll hesitate before I stab you in your disgusting heart. Are you trying to make me weep for my mother, the innocent victim? Well, I don't care about her. She wanted me dead and she failed. Good riddance, I say. And I don't care about you either, WeArEuS. I don't care about your bloodline or any excuses you come up with. Do you really think I couldn't have escaped your mansion if I wanted to? You never acknowledged me as your daughter. There's no skin off my nose. You wanted to marry a noblewoman to continue the Gwyrm line. Well, that was your own affair. You provided for me and didn't try to stop me communing with the spirits. I never wanted anything more from you. But now I don't need you anymore. I have Morrow who will protect me and hide me from justice if it comes for it. I will kill you myself. You seem to not understand. Have you not seen all the demons I've killed thus far? Demons and people? People and demons. And even a devil. I killed one of those too. I've killed a lot of things. Killing you wouldn't even be a drop in the bucket. It'd be a fart in the wind. As for you, you are just garbage left over from my You are just garbage left over from my former life. And it's time to dispose of you. The stiletto trembles in Camellia's hand. She grips the handle so tight her knuckles turn white. Yeah, I'm not about to be party to this. WeArEuS is a bit of a putz, but a pincushion? No, not today. Camellia, stop. She turns her clouded gaze on you. The spirits crave his blood. I crave his blood. Together, we have sealed his fate. Well, time for some alignment damage. You shouldn't kill him. No matter what he's done, he is still your father. The stiletto in Camellia's hand flies up and freezes in front of WeArEuS' heart. A moment passes, then another. Finally, Camellia exhales loudly and lowers her weapon. Leave. Get out of my life, WeArEuS. WeArEuS opens his mouth to say something, but immediately shuts it without saying a single word. He lingers for a moment, then nods briefly and leaves. It's all over now. I've rid myself of the... Well, you haven't quite rid yourself of the past just yet. You still got a bit of a weight around your neck, if you know what I mean. I suppose I should feel happy? Why then do I feel so tired? Camellia gets to her feet and smooths her tousled hair. It was all over too quickly, don't you agree, my friend? As if something is missing. It's like having sex without climaxing. The end result is naught but exhaustion. Let's have some more fun, shall we? Why didn't you tell me that WeArEuS would be waiting for us in Canabres? Camellia shrugs, a trifle confused. I just didn't. Perhaps I wanted to surprise you, or perhaps I was worried that you'd try to talk me out of it. Sort of like I did just there? I'm trying to avoid anything that'll end this conversation before I've gone through all of the options. Number 4 seems like it'll really move us on to the next step. I guess we'll just do this in order. Nope, we'll go with 3 first. Did Myreia really crave WeArEuS' blood? Or was it you who wanted it? Camellia's gaze sharpens for a moment, but she quickly relaxes. Yes and yes. Myreia and I are one. Her desires are my desires. We have become quite inseparable at this point. So are you ready to talk to Myreia now? No, not quite yet, but don't worry. I shall be ready soon. Just one last step, one final drop. And what exactly did you have in mind? Camellia's voice drops to a conspiratorial whisper. I want to make up for lost time, to let loose like never before, to celebrate my ultimate liberation. There are an awful lot of servants in this mansion. Let's gather them all in the garden and feed Myreia with their blood together, you and I. What do you say? I've never done this with another person before. Until now, you've only been an observer. And I want my first time to be with you. With you, my friend. Yeah, no, that's about enough. An arrogant expression emerges on Camellia's face. What right do you have to tell me what to do? I did not break free from WeArEuS' tyranny only to surrender to yours. I am free now, and I shall do as I please. Besides, it is Myreia's will. A paltry 10 servants, and we shall be able to get through to her at last. The price is reasonable. No. No, not ever. Like, ever. I forbid you to kill innocent people. Ignore my order, and you will regret it. Like, literally, I will just snowball you in the face and you will keel over. You dare to give me such an order? Yeah, I don't care. On your crusade, I saw nothing but rules and regulations. You know what? Screw you.
Save the last one for me.
Oh no. Whatever shall I? So are we quite done, or... Oh, right, the whole friendship thing is keeping her alive. Give me my stuff back, including your retarded little amulet. What an absolute waste of 30 minutes. I could have avoided this by just killing her sooner. I should have done it. I could have done it, now that I think about it. But I was holding out hope that it wouldn't turn out like that. Silly me. Could I have saved her? Not without doing something I didn't want to. So no. No, I couldn't have. This ended how it needed to. And now I have to figure out whose quest is left. Finian's isn't until much later. God, these are all so freaking far. I showed you guys last episode. Those are all the way on the far side of the map. I guess we could try heading to Chili Creek. We are a shorter person, though. There's the way out of this awful place. Oh, there it is. Welcome back to a very, very bored man who's tired of the crusade system and the wonky way it works. We find ourselves back in Chili Creek, where I killed a thing from the water at some point. It's been a really long time since I've last been here, but I was told that the guy that came here to preach, I don't know which way to go. The guy who came here to preach did so, and he eventually married the woman. Jerna. The cleric is lying on the riverbank. The sand is soaked with his blood. Save Melissa. You've been gravely injured. Who did this to you? Markiel. He wounded me, threw me into the river. I guess he thought I'd drowned, but somehow I made it back to shore. Perhaps it was the old Deadeye himself who helped me, so that I could speak to you. The cleric is having difficulty breathing. Mark, but it isn't his fault. He hasn't been himself. The evil of the river has driven him insane. He must be stopped at all costs, but if you can, if it's at all possible, try to save him too. Can I at least help this guy? So no, he's just, well, dead. Well, nothing I can do about that. So what did you have? Nothing. Oh. Go ahead and just save real fast like.
Meditate on your mistake.
Lan, if you would be so kind. Pretty sure he's in range for this.
You've crossed the wrong mongrel.
And he only got one shot at it. Because, of course, he did. $105 damage without a crit. May as well summon a treant. They like water. I'm curious. Should be in range, right? Well, it's not like they can move any closer, so let's give it a go. Is it immune to mind effects or charm? No. It also took a -4 penalty because it's near Regil. I wanted to have its turn. It did not have its turn. -2 penalty on initiative. Bonus. I just want to see if the thing... Don't do that. Don't be like that. What? 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 Oh, oh. Oh, that happened. What can you do? He got an attack of opportunity, though I never saw him move. There are a lot of these things around here today. Can he at least charge? It's kind of annoying that wasn't on in the first place.
It seems I've made a mistake.
No, it's not you, it's the devs. Trust me. Wow, such damage. Much impressed. Still want to see how Serenity works. I don't think this guy's close enough to Regil to be getting the penalty, but... That's the wrong one. They both failed.
The inheritor. Guide my leader.
Okay. So what are you going to do? Nothing? Well, that's just lovely bubbly. Well, Secret of Serenity seems like it's mildly amusing, but that's about it. Because of Ember's low relevant stat, its difficulty class is laughable. So I can't really rely on it, much less utilize it. Oh, great. This again. I wish I had quick save before I did it. What is more dangerous? The unpredictability of nature or the hostile intentions of another? The malevolent force hiding on this isle is as wild, volatile, and ruthless as the natural world, but it also has a cunning intelligence, a devious and vindictive desire to keep away unwanted visitors. As soon as the commander reaches for the oars, the water around the boat turns into a thick sheet of ice that freezes the vessel in place. What will the commander do now? We've only got one ability check that we can make that we can't possibly fail. So let's just go with mobility. We'll jump into a nearby boat and push it away from the shore before it freezes too. The commander swiftly leaps into a different boat and pulls away from the shore. The cold ice suddenly melts away, releasing the banks of the river from its frigid grasp. The commander sets off for the shore of the small rocky isle, but his journey does not go unnoticed, and it seems that someone on the isle does not like uninvited guests. Suddenly, the mist that rises from the surface of the river thickens into a dense cloud of fog. It blinds the commander and obscures his surroundings. Where is the shore? Where is the isle? The fog is so thick the commander cannot even see the oar he's holding in his hands. What will the commander do now that he's blinded by fog? Well, we pass perception checks all day long, so he closes his eyes. It's time to navigate by sound rather than sight. The sound of running water, the splash of a fish, the wind rustling through the branches of the forest, the sound of a bird chirping on a shore far away, all of these sounds paint a picture in the commander's mind that no fog can hide. A light breeze slowly begins to dissipate the cloud of fog. The boat is headed straight toward the island. It will not be long before the commander reaches the black rocky shore of the Pike Fin. The rocky isle is desolate and bare. Blue-gray lichen and a few sparse, straggling weeds are all that survive on its black, rocky shore. Further inland, the entrance to a cave gapes open like a toothless mouth. Suddenly, a violent gust of wind sweeps out from the entrance of the cave toward the river. The water, which was calm only moments ago, begins to swell into massive foaming waves that threaten to smash the boat into the boulders along the coast. How will the commander reach the shore now? We could go with knowledge of the world. Ooh, let's just straight up intimidate it. I'll call out to the unseen force that cast this spell and demand to be allowed onto the isle. The commander's intimidating presence seems to frighten the storm into submission. The winds grow calm, and the waves subside. He steers the boat down the river toward the isle and disembarks without any further complications. It's hard to believe that only moments ago this calm, lazy river was a maelstrom of raging waves and rushing currents. The air is still and peaceful. The howling gales and roaring winds have completely subsided. The isle looks calm, but so did the river. Looks can be deceiving. The lichen-covered black boulders along the shore do not look like they have ever been disturbed. It would be easy to assume this isle is uninhabited. There are no bones or traces of any rituals, but after moving further inland, the commander sees Marco's boat. It has been carefully pulled up onto the shore beyond the reach of the waves. Noises can be heard from within the cave ahead. There's a shrill, angry voice followed by the sound of a woman's scream. story time's over. Time to smash. But why, though? Great.
Can't hide from me.
What is wrong with you? This, right here.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
I still can't get them all in there. I mean, I could, possibly.
Aha! I'm curious. The mongrel did it. Can't hide from me.
Wait, so how is he even supposed to get over there?
Aha!
Wait, I still have to sneak everyone past this other one. Oh, I messed that up, I guess.
Doubt is the heart's greatest.
Shut up and get over here.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
I really wish he wouldn't rub up against these traps like that.
Thanks, Lan. You're so awesome, Lan.
And we're safe. So I had to turn off the, what is it, magic nullify for Darren because it was just complicating things in a way I just couldn't be bothered to deal with. Which is unfortunate because if not for the fact that Destructive Dispel has complete negative synergy with Magic Nullify, which, frankly, let's be honest, that's just retarded. That should not be the way that interaction works, at least for yourself. Destructive Dispel should not activate when you're dispelling yourself, or any ally. It's just so stupid. It just reeks of a lack of, what's the word I'm looking for? Forward thinking? There's a better word, but I don't want to be sitting here trying to figure that out. Well, that's gross. The cave is cold and dark. The ground is covered in fog, which is a flat-out lie, and an icy current of air flows toward you from the depths of the cave. Water drips from the ceiling, and dim lanterns cast grotesque shadows on the wall. All these years we've been worshipping the three of you? These things here. All our prayers to the icy real, all our sacrifices. Gods and our children, It's been you the whole time. Melissa is huddled in a corner, clasping a withered wreath of grass and flowers to her chest. She looks like she's been crying. Standing in front of her are 3 horrifying old hags. Marco sits at their feet like a faithful dog.
And what's so wrong with us, child?
The old woman's skin is even whiter than her hair, and her breath hangs in the air like an icy mist. Her voice is kind, but her gentle words lack sincerity. Beneath her friendly exterior, she is as cold and ruthless as ice.
We did not wish to bring any harm to you or your brother, but unfortunately you have not given us what we are owed. Deliver to the river what is rightfully hers, and both of you can live in peace. You're always too soft, Lavixia.
This hag's voice sounds like the roar of the wind during a storm. Her skin is covered in spidery blue veins, and her eyes flash like lightning.
Do what you're told, lass. Hand over that wreath or face the consequences. You won't escape us. You can run, but you can't hide from old Latinda.
Loreda, Vixia,
my sisters, do you hear me? Do you know what is destined to happen? Must happen.
This old woman speaks in a whisper. Her blind eyes are as cloudy as the fog on the river, but she turns and points her finger at you resolutely.
Look who has arrived. This is the one whose face was revealed to us in the dark waters. He's arrived already. Well, that is a surprise.
How? I didn't use stealth even once. I mean, I could have run over the traps and they'd still say, what a surprise. The old woman clucks approvingly.
We dislike uninvited guests, but you are clearly strong, agile, and smart. We appreciate those qualities in a person. Very well. Since you're here, you might as well come in.
I first want to know what's going on with the wreath before I go and tell Melissa to give it to them. Who knows? It might be more useful to me. Let's at least make sure she's all right. Commander, her master be praised. Those things drove Marco crazy and made him kill my husband. I don't understand what they want. Please save us.
So you praise the old stag now? Ungrateful child, who has kept you fed and protected you from every danger? Did your mother worship the old hunter? How about your grandmother or her grandmother before her? Did they offer him praise? I think not.
The hag shakes her hoary head in disapproval. A little village with important traditions. Land grimaces. Old traditions that are honored and respected by everyone. Now, why does that sound familiar? I don't really care who they are. What's going on here? I don't know. They did something to Marco. They made him kill Jurna, and then they ordered him to bring me here, and now they want... What? What is up with the wreath that they want so badly?
We don't want much, child. Just your wedding wreath. Give it to us, and the two of you can leave in peace. After all, we have protected you from all kinds of calamities. We have provided your village with food. Don't we deserve your respect and gratitude for our gifts? Will you begrudge us the one thing we ask of you? Why do you need it? Melissa wipes away her tears. You've killed my husband. I'm a widow now. Why do you need my wedding wreath?
And we succeed at an unexpected arcana check. You recall Jurnal's words. When the villagers cast away their wreaths, they promised to give their firstborns to the river. Why would the hags want a widow to complete this ritual? There can only be one answer. Melissa doesn't know it yet, but she must be pregnant with her firstborn child. Melissa, you are with child. If you give them your wreath, you will be giving away your child as well. What? The woman places her hands on her belly protectively. She no longer looks afraid. She stares up at the hags in outrage. So that's what this is all about. That's why you dragged me here. You didn't want the wreath, you wanted what it represents. You killed the man I loved, and now you want to take my child away from me too. Never. I will not let that happen. So that means... Marco can barely speak. He struggles to finish his sentence, but with each word he utters, he sounds less obedient and more angry. You are the reason I killed my brother-in-law. Thanks to me, Melissa's child will never know their father, and now you want to take this child from their mother. I won't let that happen. I won't allow it.
Wait, what's going on here? Are you trying to rebel against us, boy? Don't forget, you will belong to us for as long as you live. You cannot get rid of us. No matter how hard you try, we just have to say the word and you will be under our control.
I mean, he took one whole staff to the head and got off 2 shots. I call it a fair trade. Marco grabs a stone from the floor, even though that's not what it indicated, and attacks the hag. You hear a disgusting crunching sound as Marco smashes the rock into the hag's arm. The hag shrieks and lashes out at the man, dealing him a powerful blow that causes him to fall to the floor, unconscious.
Let's kill them, sisters. No one leaves this place alive.
Alright, let's do this dance. Lands in position to go ahead and hand someone the business pretty early. We'll go ahead and swap into that. Booyah. How much health do they all have? 300. Low reflexes. We like to see that. Go ahead and pop this one. Can we move her over this way a bit? God dang it. Good enough. They're not undead, they're just monstrous humanoids. I really hate how this keeps being taken off of my freaking hotbar. It is infinitely annoying to have to look at my hotbar for a skill that's no longer there because it just gets kidnapped because the game is coded poorly. Let's be honest, it's bad. They haven't cast any spells. They can't actually kill us. Let's go ahead and cast that. And then cock block this one. I'm sorry, was I supposed to care? Or... Ooh, I would like to try this out finally. Please? Absolutely trash. Absolutely trash. It's supposed to do about 19d6 damage. So between what? 20 is 120 damage. So almost up to about 100, right? 9 times 6 is what? 60 something? No. Oh, right. Yeah, so it's like 90 something damage. Oh, but I will trade you one lightning storm for... Maybe not. He can still move. And the next spell is cast swiftly because, of course, it please. Get out. Yeah, the necklace that Ember has does not add acid whatsoever. And I've got nothing else for her to wear, so whatever. You're not laughing now, are you? Turn that off. Can we get another one off? Possibly. I don't care about the treant. Can we charge? And she exploded. Well, let's take our just rewards. Seal it, please.
Rely on me.
You're ruining everything again. So what else do they have going on here? There's a perception check to be made. Rabid rippers. So let's see what these do. Whenever the wearer of these knee pads confirms a critical hit with a natural weapon, that enemy must pass a fortitude saving throw of 33, not great, or become vulnerable to slashing and acid damage for 3 rounds, which means they take an extra, what, 0.5 damage from it? Not great. Right, we picked up other stuff from the Hag's Demise. This cloth grants its wearer an insight bonus on saving throws against hexes. Completely worthless. Just garbage. Well, what can you do? Okay, so I guess we're done here and we just head back now. Really? Okay, wait, hold on. The Rabid Rippers. Are these better than what's his face already has? The Rabid Rippers require a crit, whereas the Unholy Knee Pads just give more damage. I think you know which side we're on. Now, if Ivu could equip the Rabid Rippers, maybe. But even then, what she has now gives her damage, so yeah. Thank you for saving us from those monsters. I didn't think I was going to survive, and Marquille, I thought I'd lost him forever. Sister, forgive me. I have no excuses for my actions. It's not your fault, I guess. Those hags were controlling your mind, weren't they? They would never have ensnared me if I had not been such an easy target. I really did not like Jernal. I was against your marriage, and the hags used that to control me. Lessa looks down. After a while, she answers softly. I don't know if I'll ever be able to really forgive you, but You are the only family I have now. Did you tell the villagers the truth? Do they know they've been worshipping hags this whole time? I did, but they don't believe me. Melissa casts a glance toward the village and shakes her head bitterly. They don't want to believe the truth. They say it must have been a nightmare or that Marquil drank too much. They've come up with a dozen different explanations because the truth is just too terrible to bear. They'll keep practicing their rites. I wouldn't be surprised if another nasty creature comes to live on the Pike Fen in a couple of years. I'm sure there are plenty of foul things that would gladly prey on these villagers and accept their sacrifices. I can't live among these people anymore. So what are the two of you going to do next? I will bury my husband in the ground, and then... Melissa carefully places a hand on her belly. Erastil be my witness. I'll soon have my hands full, but not here. I don't ever want to see this river again. It's my fault that your daughter will grow up without a father. So we're just guessing it's going to be a girl now, I guess. I know that an uncle is no substitute for a parent, but I swear to do everything I can for her. Let's just get this bit out of the way. Alright. Bye-bye, everyone. Yes, Melissa tries to smile. I'll pray to Erastil for you every day. But here, take this. It's an old family heirloom. I don't know how many generations it's been in our family, but now I want you to have it. Take it as a sign of my gratitude. I hope it'll be helpful on your path to victory. Thank you for everything. Farewell. Well, there is that. Oh, and if you guys are wondering about the old village of Wintersun, that place is gone now. The, apparently demons attacked and, well, the place is basically just gone now. I mean, it's still standing there, but there's nothing to do there. This is what I was looking for. Insight bonus on knowledge and lore skill checks. Not particularly interesting. Bye-bye. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for us today. I hope you guys have enjoyed yourselves and everything you've seen here. We will be back tomorrow with another episode. So, at the very least, wait, do they sell things here? I don't remember, so I'm leaving. Anyway, we will be back tomorrow with another episode, so you can keep injecting this playthrough directly into your veins, non-stop. And so, with all that said, we will see you next time.